If you've ever wondered why life feels so heavy, why the pain keeps coming even though you're praying, why your tears fall even though you've begged Allah for relief, know this: you are not forgotten, you are not being punished, you are being tested, and tested because you are loved. But before we dive into this truth that may heal your aching soul, pause for a moment, breathe, and subscribe to this channel right now, because this message might be the reminder that changes how you see every hardship you've ever faced. Allah tests those He loves the most. It's a statement we hear often, but one we struggle to fully understand when we're the ones carrying the weight. Because in the middle of heartbreak, loss, rejection, loneliness, betrayal, or failure, the shaitan whispers to your heart, if Allah really loved you, why would He let you hurt like this? But the truth is exactly the opposite. It's because He loves you that He allows the pain. You see, tests are not punishments for the believer. They are purification. They are preparation. They are divine elevation. Allah doesn't test you to break you. He tests you to build you, to purify your heart from what this dunya tries to attach you to detach you from this temporary world and attach you to Him. The Prophet Muhammad, the most beloved to Allah, faced more trials than any of us. He buried his children with his own hands, was boycotted by his people, insulted by his tribe, rejected by his community, and yet his heart remained firm because he understood something that many of us forget. The heaviest tests are signs of the deepest love. When Allah loves you, He tests you so that you turn to Him, so that your soul breaks free from relying on people, positions, or possessions and clings to Him alone. Every tear you cry in sujud, every heartbreak you silently endure, every sacrifice you make in secret is recorded and honored in ways you cannot imagine. Because while people see only your struggle, Allah sees your sincerity. People may see your weakness, but Allah sees your strength. And while the world moves on, your Rabb is drawing closer to you with every hardship you carry for His sake. Tests are conversations between your soul and its Creator. When you cry out, Ya Allah, I can't handle this anymore, Allah responds, but I can. When you whisper, Ya Allah, why is this happening to me? Allah is saying, because I want to raise you to levels you can't yet see. The Prophet said, when Allah loves a servant, He tests him, not because He wants to push you away, but because He wants to pull you closer. Because in pain, your du'as become real. In hardship, your worship becomes sincere. In loss, your attachment to Him becomes unshakable. And what feels like breaking is really your soul being rebuilt upon a stronger foundation. Shaitan wants you to confuse tests with rejection, but every test is actually a proof of your status with Allah. He tests those He wants near. He tests those whose hearts are special to Him. And while the dunya may not applaud your patience, the angels write your every tear with honor. The Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam was tested with years of illness, poverty, and isolation. Yet never once did he lose hope. And when Allah finally relieved him, He didn't just give back what was lost. He doubled His reward. This is the sunnah of your Lord. He doesn't take except to give you better. But you must endure. You must trust. You must believe that even when you don't understand the wisdom behind the pain, you know the one who controls it all is most merciful, most wise. Allah sees what you cannot. He knows what your future holds, and every delay, every denial, every difficulty is a brick being laid for a palace in Jannah that your patience is building. So don't let shaitan make you believe your pain means you are abandoned. It means you are being refined. You are being chosen. You are being prepared for something greater than what you would have ever reached without this hardship. Because while comfort may feel good, it rarely changes you. But hardship shapes you. It humbles you. It matures your soul. And the ones who are tested the most often carry the highest ranks on the day of judgment. Every trial you carry patiently is turning into light for your grave, shade for the day of judgment, and reward beyond what your mind can comprehend. The pain will not last, but the reward will. And your Lord is closer than you think. And as you continue to carry the weight of your struggles, as you wake up each day, wondering when the relief will finally come, as your heart quietly breaks while the world sees only your outer smile, know this: your struggle is not wasted, your tears are not lost, your pain is not unseen, because with every hardship, Allah is preparing something beautiful for you, even when you can't see it yet, even when the road feels endless, even when your du'as feel unanswered, even when the silence feels like abandonment, because while your limited vision can only see the storm around you, Allah sees the garden growing beneath it. He sees the strength being built inside you. He sees the patience developing within your soul and the reward that is being written for you in the unseen, a reward that is growing with every breath you take while holding on to Him. And that is the beauty of this journey, that your pain isn't proof of Allah's absence, it's proof of His closeness, because Allah doesn't test you to watch you suffer. He tests you to elevate you, to clean your heart, to polish your soul, to prepare you for levels of reward that comfort could never take you to, because ease rarely builds character, but hardship sculpts your heart into something that shines in both dunya and akhirah. And every single prophet lived this truth. Every prophet who is beloved to Allah was tested to their core, because their hearts were chosen for greatness, and greatness requires refinement. It requires burning away the attachments that weigh us down. It requires pulling us from the false sense of control that dunya offers, so that we finally recognize who is in control. And this recognition is where the real beauty lives, because once you see your struggle not as punishment but as preparation, your heart begins to transform. You no longer beg for comfort, you beg for closeness to Allah. You no longer cry simply for relief, but for acceptance, for strength, for a heart that continues to love Allah through the storm. And this is the highest station, to love Allah not only when He gives, but even when He withholds, to say Alhamdulillah, not only in ease, but especially in difficulty, because you trust that His wisdom is far greater than your limited understanding. And when you reach this level, you become unbreakable. Not because life no longer hurts, but because you have learned that no pain can shake a heart that is fully anchored in its Lord. You become like the prophets who smiled through trials, who stayed patient through humiliation, who continued worshipping even when the world rejected them, because they weren't chasing comfort, they were chasing Allah. And when your goal becomes Allah Himself, not the gifts, not the outcomes, not the results, you finally experience a type of peace that no storm can take away, because Allah's presence becomes your constant companion. His remembrance becomes your source of calm. His promises become your shield. And this is why the Prophet could endure what he endured, why he buried his children, lost his loved ones, was rejected by his people, and still rose every night to pray, still smiled at those who mocked him, still forgave those who wronged him, because his heart was never tied to the dunya. It was tied to the one who created it. And when you follow that same path, when you begin to love Allah above your comfort, above your desires, above your outcomes, your tests no longer break you. They build you, they elevate you, and they prepare you for rewards that are far beyond what you ever imagined, because what is waiting for you in Jannah makes every tear worth it, every heartbreak meaningful, every loss a stepping stone, and every unanswered dua a hidden doorway to something far greater than you would have chosen for yourself, because Allah does not take from you except to give you better, and the better He is preparing may require more patience, more growth, more purification. But once you arrive at that destination, once you see the wisdom behind the waiting, you'll fall into sujood, not just for the blessing, but for the journey that made you strong enough to receive it. Because tests aren't signs that Allah has left you, they're signs that He's investing in you, building you, loving you, in a way that only the truly beloved are loved, with a love that refines, that strengthens, that brings you closer to Him in ways comfort never could. And as you finally begin to see your tests for what they truly are, not as barriers but as bridges, not as burdens but as blessings, not as rejections but as invitations, you will realize that every heartbreak, every loss, every closed door was never meant to destroy you, but to direct you back to the only place your heart was ever meant to rest, with Allah. This is the secret Shaitan tries so hard to hide from you. He wants you to believe that your pain means you are forgotten, that your unanswered du'as mean you are unloved, that your struggles mean you are unworthy. But the opposite is true. The ones Allah loves the most, He tests the most, because the stronger your soul, the heavier your load, the more beautiful your reward, the longer your preparation, the greater your rank, the deeper. This is the way of the prophets, the way of the righteous, the way of those whose hearts were closest to Allah. The Prophet said, "The most severely tested people are the prophets, then those closest to them, then those closest to them." Why? Because their hearts were strong enough to carry what others could not. And Allah, in His infinite wisdom, is strengthening you in the same way. Your tears are not signs of weakness. They are signs of your humanity. Your doubts are not signs of failure. They are doors to deeper reliance. Your heartbreaks are not punishments. They are protections. Your unanswered prayers are not neglect. They are delays wrapped in wisdom. Because what you think you need right now may actually break you if given too soon. And Allah knows this. So He delays. He redirects. He closes doors, not to frustrate you, but to prepare you. Because He knows the exact moment your heart will be ready to receive what you're asking for. And until then, He purifies you. He strips away your attachments. He humbles you. He teaches you patience. He strengthens your trust, so that when the relief finally comes, it arrives into a heart that can handle the weight of the blessing. This is why every single hardship you endure in patience is not wasted. It's not meaningless. Every tear is seen. Every lonely night is witnessed. Every broken sujood is recorded. And on the day of judgment, when others wish they had more good deeds to present, you will see mountains of reward built from moments you thought no one noticed. Moments where you chose sabr over despair. Moments where you whispered, "Ya Allah," through trembling lips. Moments where you smiled while your heart was breaking, simply because you trusted Him. That is where your true elevation lies, not in how loud your worship is when things are easy, but in how steadfast your heart remains when things are hard. And when you meet Allah on that day, you will finally understand the beauty behind every unanswered question. You will thank Him for every door He closed, for every person He removed, for every delay He allowed, because you will see how every single one of those moments was leading you here, to a station you could never have reached without the trials. This is why tests are a gift, a brutal, beautiful gift. They break you open only to fill you with more of Him. They empty you of the dunya only to anchor you in the akhirah. They detach you from people only to connect you deeper to your Rabb. And if your test brings you closer to Allah, then it was never a punishment. It was a mercy in disguise. So don't let your pain pull you away from Him. Let it pull you closer. Don't let shaitan convince you you're alone. You are not. Allah is nearer to you in your pain than He ever was in your comfort. His mercy is hovering over you right now, even in your struggle. And if you can hold on just a little longer, if you can whisper one more dua, if you can bow your head in one more sujud, you will witness a relief that will make every tear worth it. Because Allah does not test you to watch you suffer. He tests you to raise you to ranks you cannot yet imagine. He tests those He loves the most. And you, my dear soul, are being tested because you are deeply, deeply loved.